First time ever in my life that I've really actually gone on a campaign and really tried to get her name out. And it's just about chatting to people really and getting their views. So for me personally, it's been a really exciting thing. And particularly exciting when we hear that she's doing so well. Excited about the prospect of change. That's what I'm excited about.
So when she stood up for this, it was a bit of a no-brainer for me. It was, you know, a win-win.
I guess over the last 15 years, I've become progressively more and more disillusioned and even embarrassed with the way politics is run. So when I heard that Cathy was putting herself forward as a candidate, I was delighted. Yeah. I just, for the first time in many years, felt just a leap of hope. That was initially, and then as I've gone on and watched, it's the impact that she's having on the younger generation, being involved in education. I can see that they have been cut off and disillusioned for a long time, my own children included, my own adult children. Not interested, mostly disempowered, feeling like there is absolutely nothing they can do, so that why would they bother listening or tuning in at all? And there's sparks in their eyes now. They're actually looking and talking and thinking that politics might have something to do with them, or they might be able to have a connect.
When Cathy started Voice for Indi in her campaign, it's really made me interested and sit up and notice, and I thought, wow, this is quite interesting and I want to know more, because it's really, we are determining future for the region and where we live and what we do.
I went into a newsagent in Beechworth and was served by this very pleasant young man. He saw my badge, my Cathy badge on, and he said to me, "Oh, you're voting for Cathy McGowan?" I said, "Yes." "Oh, I wish I could. I'm so disappointed." I said, "Why?" He says, "I turn 18 on the 19th.
Oh, right.
And he said, September, and he said, "Oh," and I said, "But you can use Facebook and Twitter and all those things." "Oh, yes," he said, "I am. All my friends are going to vote for her." He said, and we're always tweeting one another and putting things on Facebook because we're really excited.
She connects with young people in a different sense. So with her presence on social media, so Twitter and Facebook, I think that sends a powerful message to young people, because in reality that's the way that young people will connect. They don't know something, they're not going to look it up in their encyclopedia, they're going to go straight to Google. Who's this person? Google. Feel inspired and somewhat relieved and nurtured that a group like this is coming along and says, "Hey, let's give you a hand, we'll support you."
It's really interesting seeing who's attracted to this campaign, because all walks of life, but all thinkers, thinking beyond what they read in the paper, thinking beyond what they see on television.
I think I'm a very hopeful person, or I look for hope. I like to channel my energy into hopeful situations.
What a team to be part of. The more you work with the team and you get more involved in it, you can't help but respect the other people that are in the team as well. They're all doing it for a good reason.
One of the things that's really been good that's come out of it is the camaraderie that's existing, meeting new people. We're all galvanised into one idea. It's terrific. I'm really enjoying it. It's fun.
People are doing things outside their comfort zone because they want to help. And that in itself says a lot. We'll be on a team with like-minded people striving for the same thing. Who doesn't want to be in that team?
I adore vision for a region. I love working towards that vision and making it come true. I really am passionate about people working together. I'm passionate about community involvement and community engagement and making sure that as many people as possible get to have a voice and are a part of a process. And I've had the privilege in this particular volunteer effort to be part of the journey from the start.
Voice for Indi has given a great platform for people to meet people and just build that sense of community. It's a space for all people and all professions, no matter where you live, where you're from, your background, or various things like that. So she really has given a voice to community members.
Strong sense of community, and what an achievement.
Just by having a closer contest, right, the newspapers are actually following more. There's articles in every paper right through the election. and they're local issues. The local issues are getting more coverage in the area. People are conversing more about those issues.
It's so wonderful that this campaign has resulted in this now being front page news, that it's part of the political discourse, that people are promising money and promising action.
I probably feel a bit more prouder as a Sikh because we're getting national attention.
If the campaign were to stop today, she has already done tremendous amount of good in igniting hope in different ways in a lot of people. It's such positive energy, and that's what it feels like a lot of people have been thirsty for a long time.
But she's not really doing it for herself. She's doing it for the community.
People want to belong. It's just human nature. People want to belong to a group or a unity or something else like that. They just want to be included. They want to get along. If Cathy gets in, there'll be more community-based spirit. So if the community can get up with good ideas and get behind it and rally behind it, and they've got a good leader, there's nothing that can't be done.
We will know we've been successful when people are actively and positively engaged in political debate, when they feel that they're having their voices heard, when this seat is a marginal seat, when we're attracting funding in and we've got a national spotlight on what matters to us. Locally, the interest is about, my God, we've got a choice. We have a way that we might make a difference to the way in which elections are run, how we get engaged, how we get money in, and how an independent can really work for us. We've got brains in this country. We have so many brains. It doesn't matter whether they're red brains or blue brains or orange brains. Let's get the thinkers together and really craft solutions.
This is our story. You know,
that's
we
right.
are our community, and we need somebody who's going to actually have, you know, our interests at the forefront.
And I can see across the electorate, people are jumping up and down with joy, with a sense that, you know, as individuals we can make a difference, as communities we can make a difference, as the whole electorate, someone's paying some attention to us that will make a difference for the whole electorate. So I can imagine very clearly this amazing landscape that we live in, the beautiful natural environment, the towns, the people, the whole lot. And I just think every little cell and every little fibre of everyone's being is jumping for joy because we've got a new way of doing things.
Flames have been lit. A lot of flames in a lot of
It
areas.
really stems on good community engagement.
People want to be heard. Part of the vision is to really get people involved in the politics that affects them in their daily lives.
You think, hang on a second, it will affect me in the future.
I have a dream to see that we use collaboration and consensus and the best views, no matter which side of politics we come from, in order to craft solutions that are going to work for us.
People would be more empowered to make better choices and be more informed about those choices.
People will become more united. People will become more caring of each other. The best leader is one that leads by example. And I think Cathy's that leader. If she gets in and leads by example and she keeps doing exactly what she's doing, people will follow. We will get more people involved in domestic affairs or helping out, whether clubs or rallies or groups.
In playing the black and white game, I'm right or I'm wrong, you're right or you're wrong, we don't get to consensus. By looking for where the common ground is, or what our common ideal is, or what that bigger picture might be, then we can move to crafting a solution that might work. And that takes a lot of courage. It takes courage to step outside your position, it takes courage to listen to other people and to really work out where the solution might sit.
If you have faith in the people above you, then you'll always take that extra step. Now if the whole Indi electorate stands that way, shoulder to shoulder, and everybody's united, then they will take those bigger steps. What's to stop us from becoming the leaders in Australia? For the leaders in the world, if the person you elect is actually looking out for your best interests, not a party's best interest or anything else like that, but your best interest, straight away the people in the seat have got to be happier.
We need someone who's there to get things done and be a conduit between federal government funding and the things that are happening in the region.
With an independent, they're there to represent the members.
I think if she's truly representing us and she's taking that into the political arena, she would be actually backing the things that we are concerned about. We're concerned about getting the NBN. We're concerned about having good rail travel to Melbourne. We've got one railway line that should be absolutely sensationally fantastic, but it's not. And when you compare that to other areas, often marginal seats, there's a huge difference in quality. Whatever the community really wants, that's what she'll take. That's the message she'll take.
Fundamentally, this is who Cathy is. Cathy is a negotiator and a collaborator by her very nature.
And basically her whole career has been talking to people, listening and putting their ideas into some sort of format.
We couldn't have a more credible candidate who has enormous energy, enormous intelligence, and has the ability to listen to people.
Her philosophy is to listen to people, get ideas, bring them all together, and then take them into the political arena. It's not her ideas, it's the community's ideas.
A person who can listen to a whole lot of different points of view and somehow discern what is the best way to represent these diverse opinions. And that's a great feeling to think somebody might be able to, I might be able to trust them to actually go and do that. Yeah. And I don't need to know every single thing they're doing, as long as I can trust that they are a person of integrity and respect and honesty.
Courage, vision, personality really. Her ability to be, she's very articulate.
Her knowledge is extraordinary. For her to have received an AO was exceptional. And then if you simply Google her Order of Australia, you'll see the citation of what she's done and why. It's all community service.
I'll tell you a little story. This happened many years ago now. I can't think how. I was in business for myself, and we're in the workshop at Thomas Mitchell Drive, and I was running late and I was working on Cathy's car, and Cathy was waiting for her. And one of my other customers came in and sort of said, "Oh, can you have a quick look at this?" I said, "No, I'm working on this car." "Oh no, she won't mind." And it was the arrogance of this gentleman. And Cathy stood up to this gentleman and said, "Well, yes, I do mind." She got a point across and wasn't rude, but was forthright and showed a bit of respect and defused the whole situation. And that amazed me back then. I wish I had half that talent. But no, that's one of the many things over the time that she sort of inspired me to try and treat people with a bit more respect.
She's quite unique in the way she respects everyone else's view, and even though she'll be having an argument with you and she'll be very forceful, she'll also be very respectful.
Where I've seen Cathy do this best is with national organisations. The formation of the Australian Women in Agriculture way back in the early 90s, it's now 20 years old, was a direct result of great listening, knowing that there was a fundamental issue that needed to be resolved.
She treats people with respect, and no matter who they are. She's got a lovely balance between being confident and articulating things, but not ever projecting that there's not room for another learning or another point of view. One of the things that excites me the most is that it's the idea of trust, really. It's not really, for me, when I hear people speak or ask me to trust them as a politician, I need to believe that I can trust them. And I have that sense of Cathy very, very strongly.
Never in my entire life have I seen a false word come out of her mouth. You don't get that too often in people.
Because she's such a person of integrity, I can trust that she can go and be involved in all different aspects of Indi and process what needs to be processed, and she will do what she thinks is the right thing to do and be compassionate and try to, to come up with a really respectful and just decision for the people involved.
Appreciate the other person's point of view. Don't have to agree with it, but can appreciate it. And that's Cathy, through and through. It's back when Indigo Shire, or when the shires were amalgamated, and she got up and fought for Indigo Shire to be formed as the Shire. That's just the way Cathy is. She's all about the community.
When Cathy is elected to Parliament, I think there will be a big difference in the way things are done. First thing is that she will be there to really represent the views of the people of Indi. Her way of going about things will be quite different. It won't be just through one or two advisors sitting in an office. It will be through coming back out and reconnecting with people on a regular basis. There will be some things that she's clearly got a mandate for, and many of those things are written into the Voice for Indi report about those kitchen table conversations. People can access on Cathy's website, and they can also access it on the Voice for Indi website, the 3 W's, voiceforindi.com.au. If Cathy is the elected member, she'll be actually hearing from us and from the people of Indi what matters, and touching base again to make sure she's staying real and staying true to what the people of Indi need. Not to her ideals, for herself, not to any other person's tune, it's for the people of Indi. And I really know that that's what Cathy's going to do.
She'll be received with a lot of respect. And it won't take people long before they realise how intelligent, how thoughtful, and how useful she'll be. And I think she could lift the standard of debate. She's got the intellectual capacity to do that.
She didn't just get born here and then go away and come back. She's actually been grown by being so involved in the community. Cathy, she gives me a lot of hope, but she has hope in people, in the goodness of people. And you can see that in the way she operates. And as soon as people feel that, it brings out the best in them. It brings them out to be their best and to get involved. They're prepared to take a bit of a risk. She doesn't seem to have any fear, and we seem to have a lot of that in our political world, that use of fear to make people, and all it does is paralyse people and stop people from doing things. And she doesn't seem to project that fear at all, and that's life-giving.
Cathy makes great contact with people and then gets them in contact with the people they need to know so that we all benefit.
She just blew me away with her enthusiasm and her excitement and her presence.
To me, it's an absolute no-brainer. If we support her, it's almost guaranteed that over the next few years our services will improve because we've become important.
Please consider your options. If someone desperately wants to vote for whoever, that's their God-given privilege, and I will back them 100%. Even if I don't agree with it, it's their privilege and their right. And if they think it through, I'll back them even harder, whether it's for Cathy or against Cathy. If they think it through, I'm happy. I'm also happy because I think if most people think it through, they'll come to a logical conclusion, and that would be in Cathy's favour. Jump on the internet, it's a wonderful tool. There's research to be had, but make an informed decision.
During the last term of Parliament, 87% of the legislation that went through the House went through as bipartisan legislation. That is, that the work was done in the back rooms, that it's done in committee rooms, it's done through inquiries, it's done through fact-finding, and then crafting together a positive solution that goes forward. 87% of the legislation in what appeared to be an absolutely divided House of Parliament is just extraordinary, and that's the way I want to see things work. You make the decision on how you vote. You may have someone as your number one preference in mind. You may have someone as your number two. They don't have to be what the how to vote card tells you. You make that choice. Make your choice wisely. This is such an opportunity to change the way we have been doing things and to change for the better. Make your choice wisely because we can change what's going on.
It's really about having the power to make your own decisions.
This is a vote for Indi.
To the people of Indi, all I ask is they consider.
This is a chance. Make a choice, a deliberate choice. Cathy is a vote for hope.
Cathy is the voice for Indi.
If Cathy gets in, I think the gross domestic happiness will shoot through the roof.